A comment came through our last video that we could not ignore, and honestly, it deserved more than a reply. It deserved its own video. The commenter said, and we are quoting directly, "If Africa had even 1 ounce of unity, nothing in the world could stand in our way. It is your lack of unity that allowed every other group to come in and stake claim to Africa." So now, the commenter wasn't wrong. And that is exactly what makes this conversation so important. Before we get into history, we want to say something clearly. The frustration in that comment is aimed. This is not someone who hates Africa. This is someone who loves Africa enough to be angry at what has been done to her and what Africans have sometimes done to each other. That kind of honest frustration is where real change begins. So we are not here to debate this commenter. We are here to build on what is said. The commenter didn't end there. There is more. Long before Africa had European colonization, she had Arab colonization. Today, the Arabs still have African colonized. Now, here comes the Chinese. Africa has never had unity. The commenter mentioned Arab colonization, and he is right to bring it up because it is one of the most underreported chapters in African history. Arab slave trading exists long before Islam spread across North Africa. Muslims later expanded this trade, and over 13 centuries, between 10 and 18 million Africans were trafficked through the Sahara and the Indian Ocean to the Arab world. It operated in East Coast and the Trans-Sahara routes, and its effects, the displacement, the fractured communities, the enraged identities continue to shape the geopolitical landscape of this continent to this day. Then came the 1884, the Berlin Conference. 13 European powers and the United States, 14 nations in total, gathered in one room in Berlin. Not a single African was invited. Not one. Only 2 of the attendees had ever set foot on the continent they were dividing. They drew the borders through ethnic groups, through kingdoms, through families, using a map that was largely blank in the interior. Delegates literally drew lines through territory they had never seen. When the conference opened, only 20% of Africa was colonized. By the outbreak of the First World War, just 30 years later, only Ethiopia and Liberia remained free. We did not inherit our divisions naturally. Many of them were engineered, institutionalized, and handed to us as identity. The map we fight over today was drawn by people who had never landed in this continent. Remember, the commenter points to China, and the numbers are real and worth stating plainly. Between the year 2000 and 2023, Chinese financial institutions extended 1,306 loans, totaling 182.28 billion to 49 African countries. Infrastructures has been built: roads, railways, port, power plants, some of it genuinely needed. But here's the part that requires honest scrutiny. In 2025, for the first time, African countries paid China more in debt repayments than they received in new loans. And many African economic sectors, including the mining, railways, and power generation, have become dominated by large Chinese state-owned enterprises, edging out African companies and creating supply chain dependence. A new form of economic entanglement does not always arrive as a flag. Sometimes it arrives with a contract, and a continent that negotiates divided will always get worse terms than the one that negotiate as one. Arab exploitation, European colonization, Chinese economic encroachment. Three different eras, three different powers, one consistent condition that made each of them possible with a divided Africa. Kwame Nkrumah saw this clearly in 1963 when he wrote in Africa Must Unite that no single part of Africa can be safe or free to develop fully and independently, while other parts remains unliberated, or while Africa's vast economic resources continue to be exploited. He said that over 60 years ago, the continent is still proving him right. So to the commenter who sparked this video, thank you. Your frustration is shared. Your conclusion is correct. Division has never protected Africa. It has only made her easier to enter. This is African Panorama. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Your comments are important. It is your comment that will encourage us to produce more videos like this. See you in the next video.